the HMS Victory, a name that echoes through history. Think of it like the first Ford Model T, but instead of clogging up roads, it ruled the waves. Launched in 1765, this behemoth wasn't just a ship, it was a statement, a symbol of British naval dominance forged from oak, iron and sheer bloody-mindedness. Just like the early cars that would define the 20th century, Victory represented the pinnacle of engineering for its time. Now you might be thinking, what's a bloke who loves his V8 engines doing talking about a wooden ship? Well, stick with me, because when you peel back the layers of time, you'll find that building Victory was a lot like building those early cars. It was about pushing boundaries, taking risks, and sometimes blowing your budget in pursuit of something truly remarkable. Imagine a time before robots and power tools. Building Victory was a Herculean task, done by hand with sweat, grit, and probably a few choice words I can't repeat here. Over 6,000 oak trees, some over 200 years old, were used in her construction. Can you imagine the craftsmanship? The skill it took to shape those massive timbers into the hull, the decks, the very skeleton of this mighty vessel. And then there's the iron. Over 250 tons of it, forged into nails, bolts, and the massive anchors that held Victory fast. Each piece hammered out by hand, the air thick with the clang of metal on metal. It was a symphony of industry, a testament to human ingenuity and back-breaking labor. Just like the early days of car manufacturing, it was about men and women working together, pushing the limits of what was possible with the tools they had. You might not think it, but building a ship like Victory and building an early car had surprising similarities. Both were feats of engineering that pushed the boundaries of what was possible at the time. Both required skilled craftsmen who could work with their hands, shaping wood and metal with precision and care. Think about it, the shipwrights who built Victory's hull had to consider weight distribution, structural integrity, and hydrodynamics. Sound familiar? It's the same kind of thinking that went into designing an early car chassis, suspension, and engine. Both were complex machines, requiring careful planning and execution to ensure they wouldn't fall apart at the first sign of trouble. Now let's talk about power. Victory boasted 3 towering masts, each a marvel of engineering in its own right. Her sails, over 3,000 square meters of canvas, harnessed the wind, turning it into raw, untamed power. Think of them as the ship's engine, a complex system of ropes, pulleys, and sheer brute force. Just like a car's engine, Victory's sails needed to be carefully managed. Too much wind and you risk tearing the sails apart. Too little and you're dead in the water. It took a skilled crew to read the wind, adjust the sails, and keep Victory moving. They were the drivers of their time, coaxing every ounce of power from their engine to outrun and outmaneuver the enemy. Of course, no discussion of Victory would be complete without mentioning the Battle of Trafalgar. This was Victory's defining moment, her Le Mans, her Monaco Grand Prix. It was a clash of titans, a brutal ballet of wood, iron, and gunpowder that would decide the fate of nations. Just like in a high-stakes car race, every decision mattered. Every maneuver could mean the difference between victory and defeat, life and death. And at the helm of this floating fortress was Admiral Horatio Nelson, a leader who understood the importance of strategy, timing, and a good dose of old-fashioned British courage. Victory's triumph at Trafalgar cemented her place in history, just like a winning car crossing the finish line, forever etched in the annals of motorsport. Section 6. From Shipwrights to Grease Monkeys. The Unsung Heroes. But let's not forget the unsung heroes, the men who built Victory and the crews who sailed her into harm's way. Just like the mechanics and engineers who toiled away in the early days of motorsport, these were men who understood the value of hard work, dedication, and a bit of grease under their fingernails. They were the ones who kept Victory afloat, who repaired her battle scars, who rigged her sails and manned her cannons. They were the backbone of British naval power, the unsung heroes who made Victory's legend possible. Just like the teams behind the great racing drivers, they were the ones who made sure the car was ready for the next challenge. Section 7. Echoes of the Past, Preservation for Posterity. Today, Victory stands proudly in Portsmouth, a testament to a bygone era. She's a museum now, a living reminder of Britain's naval heritage, and just like those classic cars we cherish, it takes a dedicated team to keep her shipshape. Restoration experts, historians and volunteers work tirelessly to preserve Victory for future generations. They painstakingly restore her timbers, maintain her rigging and ensure that every detail is as authentic as possible. It's a labor of love, a dedication to preserving a piece of history that continues to inspire awe and wonder. Just like restoring a vintage Aston Martin or a classic Ferrari, it's about keeping the past alive, reminding us of the craftsmanship and ingenuity that went into these incredible machines. Section 8, more than just machines, enduring symbols of ambition. Victory and those early automobiles, they're more than just machines. They're symbols of human ambition, of our desire to push the boundaries of what's possible. They represent the culmination of countless hours of work, of dedication, of blood, sweat and tears. They're reminders of a time when things were built to last, when craftsmanship mattered, and when pushing the limits of technology meant risking everything. And that's a legacy worth preserving. Section 9, a legacy forged in oaken steel. So the next time you see a picture of HMS Victory, or maybe even a classic car show on the telly, take a moment to appreciate the ingenuity, the craftsmanship and the sheer bloody-mindedness that went into creating these marvels. They're a testament to the human spirit, a reminder that with enough grit and determination, we can achieve incredible things. And that's a lesson worth remembering, whether you're sailing the high seas or just cruising down the motorway.